loss against West Virginia, Eli talked about on the first play that fumble. There was some miscommunication between him and the line. Where did some of that stem from?
It was my fault. Like it wasn't him. Nothing he did. Something that we've gone over plenty of times, and I know what the call is, and I don't know if I was just hyped up because of the game or whatnot, but I ran out there and there was a chip and he went right inside, so it won't happen again.
Ryan, with a little extra time during this bye, what are some of the details, some of the things you guys are really harping on?
Just being stronger up front. We really got to work our pass protection. I think we gave up 5 sacks last week, which obviously isn't good enough. It's not our standard, so really focus on just extra strain, like just that little extra. When they hit quarterback depth, they're going to counter back inside. So just finishing just throughout till that ball's gone, and then chasing the ball after it's out. So.
Ryan, how would you describe the mood in the locker room in practice over these past couple weeks, letting the loss sit a little bit?
I mean, it's a 24-hour rule. It's what we've always had here. You have the next day to be mad about it, watch the film, but once you're done watching the film, it's over. It doesn't matter what the game is. You just got to be ready for the next one. The next one is the biggest one. So.
You've talked a lot about being a leader this offseason and coming into this year. What have you done, maybe specifically these past 2 weeks, to try to get the guys back on track?
Obviously, just got to lead by example. I got to show that I'm willing to do the little extra details, chase after the ball or push piles and all that. And I'm not always the biggest vocal guy, but I try my best, just keep everyone going.
Ryan, how do you think Joel's is kind of settling in? If you kind of get a feeling like he's starting to feel comfortable with the offense?
Oh yeah, I think Drew Wells is a really good football player. I think we saw that in the bowl game. I think he started to show up a little bit, and I think he's slowly building more and more confidence the more he's getting reps. And yeah, I think he's going to be really good. So.
You mentioned the pass protection's got to be better, but how did you guys feel you guys did in the run game? Not just West Virginia, but so far this season.
It could always be better. I know we want to be more explosive, but you also want to get more just 5-yard runs, chip at him. And I feel like, we're either getting a 10-yarder or a 2-yarder. And it's bringing our average to around 4 or 5, but we need more just those consistent fives. We need to start creating bigger holes, getting to the second level, and connecting with linebackers. So.
On one drive, on one red zone appearance, there was the 2 false starts. I know it was on the left side of the line, but just in general, when that happens, when there's a couple plays in a row where you take penalties on the O-line, how do you guys usually correct that, go about fixing that?
It's just kind of you got to lock in. It was loud out there, obviously, and hard to hear the snap count sometimes. And people are all yelling. The defense is making their calls too. So you just got to really hone in. And we're Power 4 football players. You got to hone in on the little things and listen to the snap count. But it's going to happen.
On tape, how have you seen Louisville use their speed defensively?
Really good on the edges for sure. Their DNs. I know they got a really good DN transfer from Coastal Carolina. He's looked pretty good these last 3 games, and not just as a pass rusher, but you see him in the run as well. He's really a high IQ guy. Sometimes they like to read, and you'll see him read and come all the way over the top to go make a play. So they're a really high motor defense. If the play breaks out and it's a scramble drill, they're all going to chase. So we have to counter that by us chasing too and playing high motor.
Some of the penalties that you guys took, especially on offense 2 weeks ago, does that limit what you can do in the run game? Does that put you in bad situations?
I mean, yeah, being first and 15, second and 15, that you got to gain some yards back, so it's hard to run in those situations for sure. And it kind of lets the defense pin their ears back because they're expecting pass in those long yardage situations. But we just got to keep ourselves out of backed up situations and keep it in 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 6 and better than that. So.
It's a little off the game, but Aaron Donald is going to be honored. His number's going to be retired later. As a kid, did you watch him and kind of glad, okay, I never had to go against that guy?
When he was in the NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously someone like that, 2 defensive or 3? 3, yeah. He was just dominant. That's not something you really see, especially out of a D tackle, his ability to rush a passer, and especially while getting double teamed and triple teamed. So, I'm sure there's a lot of offensive linemen happy he's not in the league anymore. So.
You ever had a chance to meet him? I think he's around the facility.
Oh yeah, when sometimes you see him in the weight room, and obviously Elliott was on the team when I was here, and just seeing him in the weight room, they would work out together, and just being able to talk to him. And whenever alumni come back in the NFL, it's always great to pick their brains and talk to them.
I know Francis can do some pretty crazy stuff in the weight room. Is Aaron kind of on a similar level?
I would assume so. Yeah, I've seen Aaron pick up some crazy weight, and I've seen Francis do the same.